Hey, what's up there, guys and gals? Elton here. Yep, I'm in Montreal West. Here in Montreal West. Oh, look at that. That's a good way to start. That's a rare car. Yeah, it's a sedan delivery. That's right. We're at the end of, or beginning of Sherbrooke Street and right here, Westminster. And I'm hoping the sun's going to come out a little more, but well, I guess it could be a worse looking sky. Of course, you got your Canadian Pacific line here, but now it's more geared to commuter trains of the AMT or XO, RTM, whatever the fuck you want to call this company. I've never heard of a company changing their name 3 times. A bunch of morons. Is that a train down there? I'll check that out. Because if it is, I'm going to film it. Oh, I hear that. Sounds like it could be on the highway. That reminds me, the fire station is on the main street here in Montreal West, down that way. Station 77. I always like how this street had this main street look to it, you know? Oh, he is there. Nice. Just what I needed to complete my compilation show. I haven't been lucky lately with the emergency vehicles responding. I think this might have been the same one I just saw too. Floor that mother. And I was just filming a walking video. There you go, Montreal West. You bring me good luck. Yeah. Heading to La Chine. Heading to Ville Pierre. Oh, Rambler. Well, isn't that peachy keen? I thought about keeping to record that, but the reason why I didn't is because of the fact that then it would take longer for it to load when I'm uploading that video with other clips, these little quick clips of ambulance responding. I put them all together. And I think there's a AMT commuter train coming. Got the green signal there, just lit up with those reds. And that cross street over there, that's Elmhurst Street, Elmhurst. Yeah, actually, I was going to do like I usually do. You know, I came off the 51 bus over there on Sherbrooke. And then I would have gone down Elmhurst Street, like I just showed you there, to Saint Jacques, walk Saint Jacques, or Avon, or whatever, down the hill, and down to the CN overpass. But I thought, no. I'm going to stick with the idea I had to actually instead walk down this street there and walk towards Ville St. Pierre. And I don't think I'm going to film that train because the AMT is known to put up their signal lights early, and it could be like even a half hour or an hour before a train comes by. So, and this right here, that is the old control tower they would have by freight yards or main lines like this. So they would actually literally switch the tracks manually with these huge arms like this, these levers, all mechanical. And they were obviously, this was a good, this was also a dispatch tower. And yeah, it's nice that it's still here. I guess Canadian Pacific probably stores stuff in there. Oh, by the way, since my friend Julian lives here, well, what's up there, Julian? Give you a shout out there, pal. You know. And I filmed a ride not long ago with my friend Kevin in his Lincoln Town Car. Well, you know, when you're rich, you can block a fucking street, eh? Seriously? Look at that. How long do you think it's been like that for, eh? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, look at that. They board up the windows. You can't even see inside of there. That sucks. That's shitty. One of the troubles of making these walking videos in the cold like this is that it's not just because I get cold, but the fingers get especially cold. I mean, I'm wearing 2 pairs of gloves, but honestly, I never buy like I never buy expensive gloves because gloves are one of those things you lose the most easiest, you know? I mean, seriously, if I was on fucking Family Feud and they would ask the question, what type of clothing do people lose the most? And I'd be like, bing, gloves. Gloves and scarves and hats, right? Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this, if you're not familiar with Montreal, is that you see this part of town, Montreal West, is very old, as you could tell. One of the oldest suburbs, well, suburbs. I use that loosely since it is near downtown, but nevertheless, this is where the hierarchy of the Canadian Pacific Corporation would live here. The presidents, vice presidents, treasurers, and so forth. And while where we're going to see when we get to Devil's Hill as its nickname, that's where the poor part, next to this, the poor residents lived, the working class, the guys who were the porters and people who worked on the trains that didn't make as much money, you know. Look how English his name is. Look at this: Wolseley, Broughton. Very English name, very British names, very Anglo. Probably, maybe even, especially at that time, maybe the most Anglo part of Montreal there ever was. I don't know. I think Montreal West. I think very Anglophone. I do not think. And you know what? We have a French version of this part of the city, which is called Outremont, which is also very old, which is also next to a CP line, but it's the bourgeois. So they're, in other words, the affluent French Canadians, French Québécois. Wow! Look at that tree. Look at that tree. Look at that. Isn't that something? Look at the shape it formed with the wires there. It looks almost like it's forming a heart-shaped. It's out of love. I don't know. Big heat pump. And I was just listening before on my music box there to, you know, Chicago. You know, the rock group. Actually, it's funny, come to think of it, Led Zeppelin had a similar sounding song, eh? 24, 4, 6, 2, 4. Yeah. This is one of the parts when I see all these old homes. I imagine an Oldsmobile Toronado and a Plymouth Duster and a Toyota Corolla and a LeSabre and a Vega. Yeah, even a Vega would have been the maid's car. Or the daughter or son. Probably I would imagine more of a daughter. I don't see that being much of a guy's car, but you know, later on they did become popular to make drag cars out of them, make dragster out of them, because they were light and they could fit a 350 motor in there, a big V8. Some lovely homes here. I had this small hope, thinking, well, it would be nice if I would get to the end of this street, which I forgot already what it is. I think it's Wolseley, and the sun would come out over there. But one of the reasons why I'm also filming this too is when you get to the end of the street, you get a hell of a view, actually. We're quite elevated here. Literally, like so many towns, you know, where the wealthy live on the higher upside of an area, and literally the rich live in a lower part of the land, you know, or a sector or whatever. Yeah, lovely old homes. Definitely not French architecture, that's for sure. This, again, is very English, very British. What's the name here? Look at this one, Fenwick. Fenwick, and oh, sorry, we're on Broughton. Interesting. Watch how when we get to the end of the street, it's gonna, if I remember right, it's gonna change names. See, the Canadian Pacific train line is still there. Now, imagine back in the old days, Canadian Pacific had, of course, its own railway service. So the trains would leave from downtown, which is down there, and roll all the way through here. And there was the Canadian train that would go all the way out west. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why, Canadian Pacific got out of the passenger train business, probably partly due to the oil embargo in 1973, which caused a lot of economic chaos for companies, specifically those operating in the transportation field. Boy, I bet you this guy doesn't like American cars, eh? Fucking Audi and a Volkswagen. This is typical, I've noticed, in areas like this, you know? These rich areas, they never buy American cars, they don't like them. I guess it shows they're smarter, eh? Look at all the cars, and they're all colorless too. They're all colorless, man. Julian, you know what I'm talking about. You live down here somewhere. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, look at that, a Jaguar. Okay, now we're talking. Probably doesn't even fucking run. That's why it's parked in the back there. They had to fucking take it off a tow truck. Oh, don't get me wrong. It's a good-looking automobile. You know. Yeah. I remember one time I made a video, I think, walking on Queen Mary Boulevard, which houses are even more elite and older even than these, I think, or about the same age. And my brother, one time I told him about that, and he says something like, I don't know, he said something like, oh, he says, you sure you're allowed to do that? I said, you goddamn right I'm allowed to do that. This is a free country, man. The day you can't go walking around and making this, taking pictures around here and filming, man, that's the day I eat my hat, seriously. You see, once again, I'm going to mention this before, I mention it again. Look at this old home. Look at all the black window frames and all the blackness. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like, it reminds me of some of these new Tim Hortons I've seen revamp. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I find the warmth is gone. It's like all these freaking colorless cars. All the warmth. Whatever had warmth is gone. Same thing with new music. Anyway, I'm going to stifle myself because there's some people over here. And I'm an expert at going on about things. Look how this house, how strange that is. Look at that. That's really cool. Look at that garage. It looks kind of like that station there. That, what do you call it? That control tower that I just showed you at the beginning of the video for Canadian Pacific. Now this area here, you saw in my video, my friend's Lincoln Town Car is 77. I had him going booting up all the way this hill. This is Devil's Hill, by the way. And you see the rich people had their way here, so nobody can drive through this street anymore. And that's, of course, especially due in part to all the often detours due to the deconstruction and construction of the highway Turcotte. Les Champs-sur-Côte. Yeah. Well, it kind of looks like it wants to clear up there, but yeah. See? Yeah. What an odd place to live, though. But mind you, come to think of it, I mean, it's a rundown area. It's poor as hell, but I mean, look at the view you would have over here. I never even thought about that. That's amazing. How much does one of those places go for? I want to live there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you're watching this, Kevin. Well, there you go. This video is partly for you there. You know, since you drag your, well, not drag, but push your Lincoln up there, and you know you're in a ghetto when you see fucking old, worn out, used up fucking furniture on the curb. You know? And the CN line is just down here, and now we've entered the Ville Saint-Pierre borough, which is part of Lachine, and they merged years ago. And this, as I kept saying, this is called Devil's Hill. I guess maybe in French it would be La Montagne du Diable. Yeah. And I actually used to live down here years ago. Well, I lived down in Ville Saint-Pierre 2 times in my life, but I used to live near here actually with my mom, my brother in a townhouse. And you see I'm going to zoom in here actually. Got to show something. See that? There's a tunnel there that goes underneath the CN line. And on the other side of that is La Rue Désirable. And now the fucking battery light is flashing and the battery is going to die. That's alright, I got a spare though. It's the only real complaint I have about this camera is unfortunately the battery meter is shit. The battery gauge. It's the most wonderful time of the year, eh? All the fucking cars practically are dirty and even more colorless. Ugh! Jesus, Murphy. I wish that Hibernal pill, like in that SNL spoof, actually really existed. You just take a fucking pill and you be in a coma from December until April, and you wake up with a beer and you're like, oh my god, what month is it? And she's like, it's April. Oh, really? You know, for some time, this house over here where I'm pointing exactly there used to be a nice Coupe de Ville Cadillac blue. Kind of an electric blue. Was 75, 76. Is there a bunch of cars sitting there? Freight cars? It looks like it, eh? Let's show in there again. See if I can zoom in, but the battery again is weak. Another Chevy HHR there. Yeah, that's what it looks like, eh? Oh yeah, sometimes it's true. CN just keeps those there. I should mention that the reason why they're there too is because of the fact that there is a freight yard that way. The humongous fucking freight yard. I mean, like, it's one of the biggest and most important in the country. I mean, it's just miles and miles long. It stretches literally from here, I don't know, all the way into Dorval. And here, years ago, when I lived down here, there used to be a dépanneur. Right here. I'll show you that. Yeah, right here. Hell, I even remember there was this guy working there and his name was Lee. Anyway, so that's about it. So I hope you guys liked it, and take it easy. Bye-bye.